Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Abay's on Cars. Well, the first, technically, episode 6 of Abay Short News, which is now going to be called Abay on Cars because I decided to rename the channel. The name Abay Short News kind of doesn't make sense, so I decided to rename it. So let's begin with some of the today's stories I picked out, and they're actually quite interesting. So let's begin. Okay, so let's start with something simple. The 2022 Toyota GR86 was revealed for US with 228 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, and a manual gearbox. And the Toyota GR86 and the Subaru BRZ have always been like the budget sports cars for those people who want a nice driving experience but don't want to pay too much money. And for what this car offers, that's actually pretty good amount of car for what you're paying for. It has a 2.4 liter flat 4 with 228 horsepower and 180 pound-feet of torque. It will be available in base and premium trim levels and goes on sale in the US later this year. And this car is basically identical to its brother, the Subaru BRZ. But I'm not sure what the Subaru BRZ has different. I think they have the same engines, the same performance, the same drivetrain, the same manual gearbox. But I'm gonna have to check that out. But today we're talking about the Toyota GR86, and the car has, as I said, from its 2.4 liter flat four, it has 228 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, compared to its 205 horsepower from the previous generation car, and that is 23 horsepower more than the previous generation. And Toyota claims it'll get to 60 miles an hour in 6.1 seconds. And also in the interior, the car has a 7-inch digital cage cluster and an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Both standard equipment, both of these, digital cluster and infotainment screen, and it has an Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you can connect your phone to the screen and use your Google Maps or Waze, and that's quite convenient. And we got the price. It starts from $31,000, and that is, I think, pretty good value for a car with rear-wheel drive, manual transmission. That's what all a car enthusiast wants. In a small, compact sports car platform. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments of the Toyota GR86. I think this is a pretty good looking car and a pretty good car for the value of money. In the rear, actually, kind of reminds me of the Honda NSX. Uh, and in general, I think this is a pretty good looking car. And so is the Subaru BRZ. Okay, let's talk about some accessories for your car. If you cannot afford your dream Bugatti, you can afford maybe a smartwatch, Bugatti branded smartwatch for $1,000 instead, which is quite a lot of money for a smartwatch, let's be honest. But it is the Bugatti way. And these are smartwatches, and I believe they're made by Vilto, the brand called Vilto. I have never heard of that brand, and they're making Bugatti edition smartwatches. Look, we got three here. So we got black on black smartwatch, then we got this type smartwatch with a chrono dial, and here as well. I'm not really a watch expert, but I gotta say these smartwatches do look cool. Of course, $1,000 for a smartwatch is a lot of money, but it is a Bugatti branded special edition smartwatch, I'm guessing, and you can order one based on your Bugatti. So, for example, if you have like this red Bugatti Devo, you can order your smartwatch to look kind of like to mimic the red Bugatti Devo here, which is also called the Ladybug. Or you can get a black on black version, for example, to mimic a Bugatti La Voiture Noire. Um, which Cristiano Ronaldo owns, I believe. But yeah, these smartwatches are cool. Now, they are smartwatches, which means that they're not like classic analog watches, and smartwatches can age quite a bit then compared to watches. Like for example, Casio still makes the what the you know the popular Casio 1980s stainless steel watches. These watches are old school, but they are still being worn by people and they're still in fashion, even though they're old. It's just the style of it. But this watch looks cool, but because it's a smartwatch and has all the smartwatch tech, this is gonna age. It's like what Bugatti does with their cars. Bugatti doesn't include an infotainment system display because in about 5 years that will already age. Instead, what Bugatti does with their cars is it keeps a clean interior so that the Bugatti cars can be timeless, and that's good for car collectors. Because not everyone's gonna sell their Bugatti after 5 years and buy a new one. They're gonna keep their Bugattis for like many years, and that's what this company should have done. Now, maybe this smartwatch will keep its value if you're gonna sell it, because this is a special Bugatti edition smartwatch. But because it's a smartwatch, it might lose its value quite a bit. Now, for collectors, maybe it's not going to lose its value, but for normal buyers, it will probably lose its value because you're not going to be looking for modern tech in 5 years. I mean, the Apple Watch Series 5. This smartwatch is pretty modern now, but in 5 years, this thing will be old. So it's kind of the same deal here. But this smartwatch is really cool. We'll see how this smartwatch will live on, and will it keep its value or not. Anyway, let's talk about something important, something quite important actually. The Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck. Well, in this case, it's the Pro, and this is your ultimate sub 40,000 commercial work truck, $40,000 commercial work truck. And the F-150 is quite a big deal because this is the most popular car ever sold, ever, in the whole world. I mean, the F-150 has been around since the 1950s, so yeah, it's been living for a long time, the model name. And Americans love pickup trucks. We know it. There's a lot of them. There's like this GMC, Ram. I'm not really a pickup truck expert. There's the Chevrolet Silverado. There's the Ford F-150. There's a lot of them. And the F-150 is the most popular one. And Ford announced the new electric version of it's the most popular vehicle sold ever, which is quite a big deal because all the car manufacturers are starting now slowly to move to electric power, because we have in the UK we're gonna have a petrol ban in 2030, and you can see a lot of car manufacturers are starting to roll out electric cars. Porsche, they did the Taycan, Audi, they did the e-tron GT, BMW, the iX, the i4, Mercedes, the EQS, the EQC SUV. There's a lot basically. Everyone's starting to move to electric power, and others will catch up eventually. And Ford did this with their famous pickup truck. And I gotta say, this pickup truck is actually pretty cool. And this pickup truck is the one I would have over the Tesla Cybertruck. It has standard all-wheel drive, 230 miles of range, and it has 775 pound-feet of torque. And it starts from about 40,000 pounds, dollars. I mean. And here we can have a picture of the bed. And what's cool is the bed, like the Ford F-150 always has. It has slots here, workspace where you can do work, because that's what the Ford F-150 was made for. And you even get power plugs there to charge any tools you need when you're working, doing. which is really cool. And the F-150 has more features, such as it can power a house if the electricity goes out for 3 days. That is insane. So this pickup truck can actually save lives. Uh, well, not if it probably is going to, but it can. And this pickup truck has 563 horsepower versus 462 compared to the F-150 Raptor, I'm guessing, and it has a 10,000 pound towing capacity, which is quite important because the F-150 is a really popular towing truck, and Americans do like to tow stuff, you know. Uh, so the F-150 really offers a lot of cool features for uh, the general F-150 buyers, the people who want a work pickup truck. I think the F-150 is pretty cool. It offers so much cool features. And also, let's take a look at the interior of the F-150. Um, and here's the interior of the F-150. As you can see, it has the same display as the Mustang Mach-E, but the dash design has been redesigned. But other than that, it's still the same for the F-150. And what I like about the Ford F-150 is you can unfold the armrest and make a workspace, so you can do work on your computer while you're waiting for someone. And here's a better look at the interior. We got the digital gauge cluster, the new screen, the new dash design. This is the concept. Wow. This was the concept for the. Oh, this was the concept for the 2001 Ford F-150. Anyway, so that was the look of the Ford F-150 interior. And I think this is the truck I would buy instead of the Tesla Cybertruck, because I wouldn't want to drive in a boxy pickup truck. Now, as much as the Cybertruck looks cool, I'm not really a fan of the design. I mean, it's just a slab of a car, a pickup truck. Like, it's something a child would draw from their imagination. This is a more familiar pickup truck look. We all know the Cybertruck. Some people like it, some people won't drive it because it's a Tesla. But I will buy this instead. I think this is more useful. The Cybertruck starts from about the same money as the F-150, but it offers more, I think. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't want to drive in a Cybertruck every day in a boxy, car. This is more subtle. This is more familiar. I think the F-150 looks better than the Cybertruck. Uh, of course, the Cybertruck might win in terms of performance and range, but I'll still have the F-150 instead. But yeah, here's the F-150. Okay, let's talk about um, the Rimac Nevera. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you people have seen the videos of the Rimac Nevera. This is a Croatian hypercar car manufacturer, and it's released its new Nevera model since the Rimac. What was it called? The Rimac Concept 1? Yeah, I think it was called the Rimac Concept 1. And that car was made back in 2013, so it was quite old. And now Rimac finally updated, and they unveiled the new Nevera, which I think looks really good. The front looks really cool, it's sleek. The doors are cool as well. It kind of reminds me of Ferrari. The interior, it kind of looks like a Ferrari, really does. Which is not really a bad thing. The interior looks really nice and quality. The rear reminds me of the previous Rimac Concept 1. I think this hypercar is a really nice looking car. And it offers it costs 2.4 million And it has 1,914 horsepower, 2,360 Newton meters of torque, 1,740 pound-feet of torque. That is crazy. And if you've seen the drag race from Carwow, this car did a standing quarter mile of 8.6 seconds, which is a world record. That's crazy. That is real good. This car will destroy the Tesla Model S Plaid Plus. This car has like more horsepower. The Tesla Model S Plaid Plus, we have to wait for it. But Tesla says it will do under 9 seconds or under 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure the Tesla can't beat the Rimac. This is a full-on electric hypercar, the hypercar of the future. And I gotta say, good job, Rimac. You made a really beautiful, fast electric car, the hypercar of the future. I really like the new Rimac Nevera. Shout out to Rimac. Anyway, let's talk about the new Rolls-Royce Boattail, the most expensive and luxurious car in the world, with a price of $28 million. And this car is one of one, so you can't buy it. It was a custom order, and the customer already got its car, I believe. And the Boattail kind of reminds me of the futuristic Dawn, Rolls-Royce Dawn. And as you can see, the price was around $28 million, about 558 million Mexican pesos. And what's special about the Boattail, it has like at the back, it has like an opening. Do we get any pictures? No, we don't get any pictures. Maybe I can show you quickly. At the back, it has like a picnic trunk where you can spend time in. I'll show you quickly. There it is. As we can see here, that's how it opens, the benches, and you even have an umbrella. I mean, that is cool. I gotta be honest, that is really cool. Certainly, I think it is a bit overkill for a car, but it is cool. And this was a custom order. You can't buy this. I guess someone want to have a picnic site on their car where they can have a nice time sitting on the back of their Rolls Royce having a $28 million car and having a nice picnic. And the car in general looks pretty cool and futuristic, like a Rolls, and at the same time classy, like a Rolls Royce would. And it looks extremely long. Like, look at this. Oh, wheelbase looks really long by the pictures. But yeah, the Rolls Royce Boattail is a really cool car, and also the new most expensive car yet. Rolls Royce beats the record again, like they did previously with the Sweptail. Anyway, the final up today is something more exciting than the Boattail. The 536 horsepower all-electric 2022 BMW i4 M50 is cheaper than a BMW M3. Exciting, isn't it? That is way better than the Rolls-Royce Boattail. No, I'm just kidding. But still, this interests me more than the Rolls-Royce Boattail, because the new BMW i4 still wears the same face from the BMW M3 and M4, but I gotta say, this car looks better. It actually looks good. This look fits this car. The Grand Coupe shape, the M mirrors, this new bumper design. Now, if you see my i4 video, that was the basic model. This is the M50 model. And this car has 563 horsepower, and it costs less than M3, and it's electric, and you get 4 doors with a coupe look, and it's modern as well. I mean, what's better than this? Cheaper than M3, more power, electric, so it's good for the future. Looks good, I think. Let's be honest, this car looks better than the M4 and the M3, especially the rear. The coupe, Grand Coupe look, and the tail lights from the 4 Series, with the lip spoiler. Yeah, I think this car looks gorgeous. This is a nice looking car actually. Of course, many people might disagree with me. I think this is a nice looking car, better than the M3 and M4, and this is the one I will buy because it's electric as well. So it's good for the future. So yeah, the i4M, good job BMW. Do we get any pictures of the interior? But no, we don't. But BMW has revealed the interior, and we can take a look. Am I misspelling? Okay, so this is the concept. This is the new interior. So as we can see, oh, yeah, finally. The new digital gauge cluster, like in the Mercedes, BMW kind of copied Mercedes with the new single, touchscreen connected type of design. Otherwise, like, look at the grills, look at everything else. It's like BMW's previous. BMW doesn't really like to modernize their interiors. They don't like to keep it really, really modern, like Mercedes with its new X-Class, for example. But even though it has the new touchscreens, I would say this car still kind of looks old-fashioned, which is, I think, a good thing because it keeps everything simpler and more familiar to us. Although I think the climate control have been now moved to the touchscreen, which is not really good because it's not easy to adjust climate control on the touchscreen while you're driving. And here we go, because I can't see the climate control here. This doesn't look like a kind of climate control panel to me. So that's a bit, well, worried. And I can see we got the knob, the iDrive knob. So I guess you can control this with gesture controls, touchscreen, or with a knob if you prefer to. Otherwise, this is literally the same BMW interior we have always been used to, which is, I think, a good thing. And whether, if you ask me, would I buy this instead of the M3? Yes. Because it offers 4 doors like the M3. It looks better than the M3. It's cheaper than the M3, but it offers more power. Although it's probably going to be heavy. It looks better. It has the coupe-ish shape, the Grand Coupe shape. Yeah. What is better than this deal? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, this car still looks ugly. I know a lot of people still are going to be out there that still think this car looks ugly. I think this car looks good compared to the M3 and M4. Now, also BMW released some new details about the iX, which is a whole another story. This car is like literally the opposite of the BMW i4. It looks, I'm sorry, but bad, BMW. The grille and the headlights are the main problem. Like, what, the kidney grille is huge. The headlights are way too slim. Yeah, that's another story. But yeah, guys, that's been everything for today. Hope you like the stories that I picked out today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again in the next video.